Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Вера Алексеевна Полякова-Норвуд. Добро пожаловать на урок русского языка. My name is Vera Polякova-Norwood, and you're welcome to our Russian class. We are continuing the study of the Russian alphabet, but as we always do, we shall begin with the review of what we already learned. And at this point, we know half of the letters in the Russian alphabet. So let's take a look at those letter groups that we have already studied very thoroughly. Our first one is a group of 6 letters that look and sound absolutely the same in the Russian and in the English alphabets. A, E, K, M, O, T. Our next group is composed of the letters that look close to the letters in the English alphabet, but they represent something very, very different. S, R, I, N, V, P. And now let's take a look at the third letter group. Z, Y, L, U, D. Let me go with these letters one more time. Z, Y, remember that's the one that has a nice little cap on top. L, U, D. While we were learning the letters of the Russian alphabet, we also acquired a very nice vocabulary. You remember that the name of the Russian capital is Moskva, and the Russian people like to watch sport on televisor. When they are in a mood for a movie, they go to kinotheater. You know that the hottest season of the year is called Lето, and the coldest is Zima. And you remember that during Zima, the Russian people like to go for a ride in a troika. Хорошо. Let's take a look at a few pictures, and I want you to identify everything that you see in the Russian language. So, how do we call this city? The Russian capital. Moskva. Moskva. And what is this? Dom. Dom. And this is a televisor. Televisor. You can enjoy a nice meal in a restaurant. Restaurant. The name of this season is Lето. Lето. And the coldest season of the year is called Zima. Zima. And during Zima, we like to ride in a troika. Troika. Хорошо. Very good. That was very good. So we are ready to go on and look at the next letter group from the Russian alphabet. So let's take a look at this. B, F, H, U, and this letter is called the soft sign. So B, F, H, this is the letter U, and the soft sign completes this letter group for us. Let us concentrate our attention now on the 2 letters from this group. We shall start with the letter B. This is the letter B that comes with a B sound. B. The letter B. And we will also look at this. This is the letter H. ha, as in ha ha ha. Ha. It comes with a very strong, very pronounced H sound. There's no corresponding sound in the English language, but try to make your H sound very loud, very pronounced. That's the sound that is represented by the Russian letter ha. So let's take a look at a few words where these letters occur. You may have heard that the Russian people are very fond of this sort of entertainment. Ballet. Ballet. Notice how short this Russian word is. Ballet. Ballet. Ballet is very, very popular in the land of Russia. Ballet. One of the Russian folk instruments is called balalaika. Balalaika. Listen to this word, balalaika. It sort of gives you an idea of the sound that you can produce by means of this three-string instrument. Balalaika. Автобус. Автобус. This is one of the means of public transportation. A bus. That's right. Автобус. 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 And if you would like to ride in an автобус, you need to have a билет, a ticket. Билет. Билет. So let's take a look at these words on one page. Балет, балалайка, автобус, билет. Балет, балалайка, автобус, билет. Хорошо. We are going to look at a few pictures, but before we do that, let me remind you of one thing. Do you remember how to say this is a house or this is a cat? You start with the little word это, meaning this is, and then you name an object or a person. I will ask my questions in Russian. Что это? What is this? So let's try this. Так, что это? Это балет. Это балет. Что это? Это балалайка. Это балалайка. Что это? Это автобус. Это автобус. Что это? Это билет. Это билет. Хорошо. Хорошо. Let's look at the words that have the letter H in them. And the first word for us is хоккей. Хоккей. Notice we start on this very strong, very pronounced H sound. Хоккей. And that's a very popular sport in Russia. That's #1 winter sport. Hockey, ice hockey, хоккей. And also we will find the letter H in this word, вход. Вход. Вход means entrance. Any kind of entrance. Вход. And let's look at these words on one page. Хоккей. Вход. The letter H always represents a very strong H sound. Хоккей. Вход. And now let's practice writing these two letters. Again, we start with the letter B. B. And this is what we do with the capital letter. the letter B. Notice that we start here from the top, we come down to the bottom, and we make this little loop, and then this nice little rounded element, and we put this other thing on top of it. You notice that a lot of Russian letters have this on top. So let's try one more time. That's the capital letter B. And this is what we do with the lowercase. Up to here it looks like the letter O, but we have to continue and complete it this way. This is the letter B. And now let's try the letter H. We start with something that looks like a backwards C. And then we add a regular C. And that completes the letter H. Again, let's try again. Backwards C, the regular C. And that's your letter H. All it takes. And a lowercase is just a smaller version of the capital letter. Just make it look smaller. Now the words. Ballet. Ballet. We start with the letter B, then the letter A, L, E, and T. And of course, if you are going to see ballet, you need to purchase a ticket. Билет. Билет. And let's try балалайка. Балалайка. Ba-la. It's a longer word. I have to struggle with it. Balalaika. And don't forget to put a little cap on top of the letter Y. Balalaika. And you already know that the #1 winter sport in Russia is hockey. So we start with the letter H. Hockey. This may not be easy right now, but as you practice, you will be able to write it very, very fast. Hockey. And what is the Russian word for entrance? Вход. Вход. Entrance. Вход. Билет. Балет, билет, балалайка, хоккей, вход. Now let's look at 2 more letters from the same letter group. We are looking at the Russian letter F. F. The Russians borrowed this letter from the Greek alphabet. That explains the looks. F. And it comes with an F sound, always. F. And this interesting letter is the Russian letter U. U. Just like the English pronoun. U. So F, U. The letter F occurs in the name of another very popular Russian sport. The #1 summer sport in Russia is football. Football. This word means soccer or European football. Football, the way it is played in this country, is always referred to as American football. But football simply means soccer in Russia, and it is tremendously popular. Football. The letter F also occurs in this word, telephone, and I don't really need to translate it for you. Telephone, telephone, telephone. That's another very easy international word. Also, we can find the same letter in coffee, coffee, coffee. Yes, Russians enjoy drinking coffee just as much as Americans do, but they drink more of it in the morning. They drink coffee in the morning and then tea during the remainder of the day. But coffee is just as popular in Russia as it is here. Coffee. And if you would like to drink a cup of coffee, you can stop by a cafe. Cafe. A cafe. Another international word. Cafe. Cafe. So let's look at our words. Football, telephone, coffee, cafe. Football, telephone, coffee, cafe. Let's look at a few pictures, and I will ask you, что это? Please respond in complete sentences in Russian. Итак, что это? Это кафе. Это кафе. Что это? Это футбол. Это футбол. Что это? Это хоккей. Это хоккей. Хорошо. Хорошо. Very good. Now the letter U. The letter U occurs in this word. Humor. Humor. And what you think it means? Humor. The Russian people have a very good, very keen sense of humor. Humor. And you can easily spot the letter U in this word. Menu. Menu. When you go to a restaurant, you have to look at a menu. And maybe the first thing you will order is coffee. Menu. Menu. Let's look at these two words side by side. Humor starts with the letter U. Menu ends in the same letter. Humor, menu. And of course, we need to look at these two letters in their cursive format. So let's work on this. We shall start with the letter F. With the letter, yes, F. And this is what we do here. Very often, this letter is described as two zeros on a stick. So you start with your stick, but don't forget to make a nice little curve here, and then you put the two zeros on it. And that's it. You have a nice looking capital letter F. And now watch me work on the lowercase. We start with this little zero, then your stick, and another zero. But this time the stick goes below the line. The letter F. And now the letter U. We start just like the letter N. And now when we reach this point, we add an O. And this is it. This is our letter U. Again. Up till this moment, you may think we are working on the letter N. But right from here, we are working on our O element, and it completes the letter U. So let's try again. This little loop, And right here we add an O, and that's the letter U. The lowercase looks just like a smaller version of the capital letter. Okay. You remember that number one summer sport in Russia is football. Football. And that we often talk on telephone. Telephone. You know that the Russian people have a good sense of humor, and that in a restaurant we should remember to look at a menu. Menu. Хорошо. And then to complete that letter group at which we are looking today, this is it. The soft sign. This letter does not have a sound of its own. Rather, it changes the sound of a preceding consonant. This may be somewhat difficult to understand, but let's look at examples, and I will tell you what this letter does in a word. So one of the words that end in the soft sign is ruble. You know, that's the name of the Russian currency. Ruble. Ruble ends in a very light, very soft L sound. And to show that this L gives us a very light and soft sound, we put the soft sign on this word. Ruble. Ruble. Make it sound very light. Ruble. Ruble. The word Kreml also ends in the soft sign. We put the soft sign here to show that this L is a very light sound. Kreml. Kreml. You may have heard of the Kremlin right in the heart of Moscow. Well, that's it. Kreml. Kreml. The word Kreml simply means fortress. And in the center of any Russian town, in the center of any old Russian town, you will find a Kreml. Kreml. The soft sign can also serve as a word divider. Computer. Computer. Look at this. This time the soft sign occurs right in the middle of a word. And it tells us not to connect the P sound and the U sound. Computer. Computer. It works as a word divider. Computer. And what is a computer? A computer. Another cognate, another international word. So let's look at the words that have the soft sign on one page. Ruble, Kreml, computer. Ruble, Kreml, computer. And yes, we are going to learn how to write it. Actually, this is very easy. There's only the lowercase to work with. Since this sign, the soft sign, occurs only at the end of a word or in the middle of a word, there's no capital. Only the lowercase. So we know that the name of the Russian currency is ruble. Ruble. Okay. And in the center of Moscow, what do we find? Kreml. Kreml. And you know that this letter also occurs in the middle of the word computer. Computer. Notice that it's very small. It's no taller than the letter P and the letter U. It's the same size as any other letter in this word. Computer. Computer. Хорошо. Хорошо. We are going to look at a few pictures, and I will ask you this ubiquitous question, что это? What is this? You already know that before you name that object, you have to say это, this is. So, что это? Это балалайка. Что это? Это балет. Что это? Это автобус. Что это? Это Кремль. Это Кремль. Ну, хорошо. Хорошо. А что это? Это кофе. А это? Что это? Это телефон. Это телефон. Хорошо. Хорошо. So today we talked a little bit about sports. You learned that number one winter sport in Russia is hockey. And the number one summer sport in Russia is football. Football. Хоккей и football. But other sports are very popular too. Besides football, Russian people enjoy tennis. Tennis. And right now they are learning to enjoy golf. Golf. So, sport. Football, хоккей, tennis, golf. Now we have already learned a lot of letters from the Russian alphabet, and it means that you have to practice and practice and practice on your own. So please complete all the follow-up exercise, and I hope that you will go around your school or around your dorm, your home, and name as many objects in Russian as you can. Телевизор, телефон, компьютер, вода, and other things that you have in your home. Большое спасибо. Thank you very much. And when we meet with you next time, we will continue working on the Russian alphabet. But please keep practicing. Большое спасибо. До свидания.